remakes that have been coming out lately, especially the Friday the 13th one.
Well, you know, I mean, certainly, yeah, I actually did. I watched it on HBO, I don't know, like a couple months ago. But I thought it was a great opportunity, and I felt like they didn't take advantage of it. And, you know, I'm not a producer, I'm not a director, so who cares? But it felt to me that we had more heart, that there was just, I don't know, I didn't really get connected to any of the characters in the remake. And I felt like with us, you know, that I know, you could feel something before we were destroyed.
Right, let me see if I can do this right. Now, of course, you all being part of one of the biggest 80s franchises ever, you were also part of one of the biggest 80s controversies of all time, so this is pretty much addressed to every one of you. How did you all feel about sort of like the 80s kind of crackdown on the Friday the 13th series as in terms of like a moral issue or whatever?
I believe they're all moral. It's a formula. I thought the formula was if you smoke, drink, or screw, you die. But I believe they made it PG-13, like you said, or R. And they made it PG-13 instead, I believe a long time ago it's taken care of.
Well, you know, that's always a problem. It's always an issue, and I don't know, people seem to search for something to get upset about. Essentially, the bottom line is if you don't like it, don't pay money, don't go see it. You know, why do other people feel like they have to tell anybody what to do or not to do? You know, as long as they're not killing anybody.
We have enough rules in the world right now. Jesus. No more rules.
You know, there's a really good saying that I remember my parents told me this a long time ago. My whole family's in the film industry, and they said, critics are to films what pigeons are to statues. And it was one of those things where it's like, if you can't do it, just break it down. And half of them, a lot of times, this is my experience, a lot of casting agents, not all of them, some of them are wonderful, but some of them are frustrated actors. And if you even remind them of somebody that irritates, like, you know, your first call, you go, and it's like, you can just tell them you get to the room, you're like, I remind you of something that irritates you or something. It's like, I don't even get a shot at this. There's no even, you know, that's my experience every once in a while. But it's true, sometimes there's that hostility. You get a casting director who loves you, will bring you back for everything. No matter what, it could be for like, it could be for a small 18-year-old like African-American child. Listen, Tommy, I just like you so much, let's give it a shot. Like, oh man, I can do this, you know, it's not gonna happen. So the bottom line is just, they're just nice, but some people it is. There's a political thing to it. There is a certain thing. There's a lot of jealousy, a lot of envy and stuff that happens a lot of times. And there's enough, you know, it used to be that there was so much work. When I used to go to interviews, true story that I used to see this, there was about 10 of us, because I was Italian, there was like, there would be you get a thing called breakdowns, and it would say like, let's just say it's Friday the 13th, they'll say like, you know, kid between like 18 and 21, CIT, whatever, he's going to do this. So what would be there, I'd be like, I'm not saying for this film, but I'd be up against, it would usually be, and these are all names you know, Brad Pitt would be there, what's his name, God, I used to see him all the time, Jim Carrey would be there, Robert Downey Jr. would be there, and God, who's the kid who's, there's just a whole bunch of them. There was about 12 of us, and there would be tons of films. There was plenty of movies to do. There was everybody was always working and doing one or the other. And then what happened is, I moved up to Idaho for a while to get away from like all the craziness. And I came back about 3 years later, and all of a sudden it was cattle calls. You'd look at the thing, and the breakdown would say like Asian American, white, black, the whole thing. And all of a sudden it'd be between the ages of like 18 and 35, and you'd show up, there would be all of you there. You're going, oh my gosh. And the writing would be terrible, and it would be like, somebody will make this work for them, because somebody will do something brilliant, like a Jim Carrey, or do something crazy, and they'll say, cool, this guy's going to float this whole thing. So that, and I started losing interest. The cattle call thing wasn't as much fun, because it got to be, the odds of it all became crazy. That was my experience. It used to be, you know, it got nutty. We were carrying, you know, you go on interviews, it was just like, there's so many people and stuff. And it wasn't as much fun anymore. So, that's kind of the politics. Everybody wanted to be an actor, and everybody, you know, was there. And then with this new Survivor, what are those shows called? Survivor and all that stuff. Reality, you know, it's a brilliant thing. They do this if you want to be a movie, let's say you're going to be a rock star. What they do is they used to take chances to do a thing called a pilot. They put all of us in there, they take a shot. You buy, you know, they do 1 or they buy 7 out of 13 or whatever, and they take a shot with us. We'd all go in there, and if the ratings sucked, you know what, you'd have the pilot a couple things, and then it was done. nowadays they do with the music industry and things. They'll put you, they get all these people who come in for free that are dying to do it. So she sings her butt off. I do it the best I can. We all keep doing it. And then America votes and eliminates you guys. Eliminates you, eliminates me, and all of a sudden they picked her. Get us that one. It didn't cost me anything. I know you're all going to buy her album. So I made a great decision. I just eliminated it all. So she's a great sell. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden all of us is like, wow, dang, that was a pretty good idea. But shit, pretty soon, you know, there's all these